What's up, Mother Geekers? How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. So, today I am joined by my buddy Steven, who is here from the UK and is a passionate Superman fan. Definitely knows more about Superman than I do. And I figured he would be absolutely perfect to have on for this video. And yeah, we're probably going to make this more of a regular thing uh, where we talk DC, you know, maybe like bi-weekly, once a month, something like that. So expect to see more Steven on the channel. But yeah, tell him about yourself a little bit, and yeah.
Well, I've got my own show that I don't really do, Horrifying Heroics, which I will be trying to bring back. So there's that as well. So yeah, as you said, I'm a massive Superman fan. Halloween, horror,
Yeah.
everything, pretty much all the things you are.
Oh
But
yeah,
we've got slightly different tastes on certain things. But
slightly different, slightly different. Some things, more, but you know, I don't know. We always have good conversations, so we figured
we do.
good conversations, good debates, all of that. So we figured, you know what? Why not do this on camera? Uh, Probably work out great. Hopefully you guys like it. But anyways, so today we are going to be talking about the recent casting announcements for the upcoming Superman Legacy, directed and written by James Gunn, which is going to, of course, be a Superman reboot, which I'm sure most of you watching this are aware of. So, so yeah, I'm gonna defer to you on this, Stephen. Like, what do you think about the casting announcements? Are you happy with it?
Well, to cut a long story short, yes, I am. There was a point where I was not on board with Superman Legacy, as you know, because I was very upset about the Henry Cavill thing. But time has passed. I've kind of
Yeah,
gotten over it. Henry's doing all right,
yeah,
as well. And I think we both know after what happened with the Flash that it's time to just reboot and just start again.
definitely.
But I had David Corenswet down as my Superman, as a new Superman for a long time, even a couple of years ago. I think there was an interview with him in something, I can't remember what it was exactly, but the quotes come out recently
Oh yeah,
where he
yeah. I saw.
basically praised the Henry Cavill tape, but called it dark and gritty. So now everyone's going mental about that, even though he
Yeah,
said he loved it, because he wants to do a more hopeful and optimistic tape, which I think that's what the next Superman needs to do anyway. And I believe you said about playing it safe on your video, and I think it
yeah,
does need to play it a little bit safe. And in some ways, these are kind of safe castings, but they've cast a guy who looks exactly like Superman and a female who looks exactly like Lois Lane. And
exactly.
I'm more aware of David than I am Rachel, which I know a lot of people were around, but I'm very, very happy because they look the part, they both can act, and I'm assuming from the tests that James Gunn did, they've got amazing chemistry. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm excited about it as well. I have only seen David Cornsweet in the movie Pearl, which I've told you about a number of
Yeah.
times.
I'm going to
It's the
watch it. I'm
sequel.
going to watch it.
Yeah, it's the sequel to the movie X, which if you haven't seen it, guys, check it out. He doesn't have a huge role in it, but he's the projectionist and he's actually
Yeah.
really good in the movie. So I'm really confident in his acting ability for Superman. And like you said, he absolutely looks the part. And and as I said in the video that I did the other day, he also has the voice for Superman.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that oftentimes gets overlooked when people are doing their fan castings and stuff is they're just thinking, does he look like Superman? But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great, but does he sound like Superman? That's why I jumped off the Wolfgang, whatever his last name is. That's why I jumped
Novogratz.
off his
Yeah.
train. What's
Yeah.
his last name?
Novogratz.
See, I'll never be able to say that. Novogratz, Nova.
Just while you're going on about David, by the way, I watched Hollywood on Netflix, and he's basically a Clark Kent in like the way he acts. He's very Clark Kentish at times,
Yeah,
and like you said, the voice is just perfect for Superman.
absolutely. And he's also like 6'4", so like
Yeah.
tallest Superman, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's half
Yeah,
half an inch taller than not half an inch. Is that half a
Christopher
foot?
Reeve.
Half a foot? Would it be half a foot? Yeah, half a foot. Yeah. Taller than
Yeah.
Chris Reeve, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it would
yeah,
be
half
half
a
an inch,
foot.
wouldn't it?
Half
No, it's
an-
half an inch. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting mixed up. Half a foot, God, even massive. No,
the
he's
size,
yeah,
the
'cause,
size really matters, Stephen.
ask Chucky. Sorry, Chris Reeve was 6'3.5". That was what I was going to say. I think Brandon Routh was 6'3" as well.
Yeah,
So I think he's
yeah.
definitely the tallest.
Well, I just think he's going to be perfect. I think David's going to be great, and I also really like the casting of Rachel. I can't talk. Rachel Osnahan.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm really excited about her, and like you, like these were my picks. With all the fan casting that was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, originally, I was not on the corn sweat train, but I like I said, I was on the Wolfgang train. But I
Is
but you
that sorry? Can I
convinced
just
me.
ask you? Is that why you weren't on the David train because you wanted Wolfgang, or was it
Well,
because you thought he looks about a look or something or anything like that? Or
I thought that I thought that David looked too much like Henry Cavill.
yeah, a lot of people
But
are saying that.
but you convinced me that it's not that David looks like Henry Cavill. It's that they both look like Superman.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I agree with you on that. I
And if you watch
absolutely.
David act, I think because I think mannerisms are a huge thing in how people look. His mannerisms are not like Henry Cavill's either, so they
Yeah,
don't look the same when they're talking and moving and stuff. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like I think he's going to. I think he's going to be more of a traditional
yeah.
characterization of Superman. That's what I honestly think, and I think Rachel. I keep saying Rachel. It's Rachel. Rachel
Rachel.
Bosnahan. I know you got that reference.
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
But but yeah, I think she's gonna be great. I think I haven't seen her in anything except I have
I've
watched
seen
some.
clips. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but I've never actually watched a movie or series that she's been in. I know she's in something about Miss Maisel. I
Yeah,
don't.
the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh no, sorry, Miss Maisel, not Mrs. Maisel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, like I think they're gonna have like the perfect dynamic bouncing off of each other because she seems more like that hard nosed, like very Lois Lane has always had more of a dominant personality.
Yeah.
I guess is how you could say, and David's more, as Clark Kent, I could see him being more pushoverish,
Yeah, a
and
bit meek and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
letting her kind of run the show a little bit, but then he becomes Superman and he becomes all Chad and shit and becomes like alpha male. he lets her know what's
do
up.
you do you see? I like that she's a little bit older than him because to me, I think
Yeah,
Lois always should be a little bit older than
she
Superman.
is older than him.
Yeah, she's
And
32. Yeah, and he's 29. Yeah.
oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But it's like the whole. Like, I think one of the best Lois and Clarks is actually from Lois and Clark. I think
Yeah.
Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain had such great chemistry, and
Oh man, their chemistry was awesome.
she sort of had that dominant. She's basically Lois Lane from the comics, like brought to life, and I think that's what we'll get in this. I don't mean
Okay.
she'll be like Terry Hatcher, but she'll be that kind of Lois where she kind of is, like you say, very independent. Not to be messed with.
Yeah.
Not the damsel in distress, basically.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be a damsel in distress by any means. I
She'll
think
obviously
she
get in trouble, and Superman will have to help her, but
yeah.
it'll be.
Yeah, but I don't
It'll
think
probably
she's
because she's too nosy, and like in Superman the animated series, she'd often get herself in trouble because she'd be too busy looking at something she shouldn't be doing.
yeah. But yeah, I mean I'm absolutely happy with those casting choices, and I think James Gunn knocked it out of the park. I never
Yeah,
doubted him for a second when it comes to casting. I mean, we
yeah.
can we can talk about like the way he directs, some of the choices he makes
Mm.
here and there, but when it comes to casting, the man's pretty much perfect.
I can't think of one casting he's done that I've thought.
I
I can't think of it. Like John Cena as Pete. I mean, I know Peacemaker's not a well-known character, but he's perfect for that role.
he is
Yeah, and like Chris
absolutely.
Pratt as Star Lord, and even like Bradley Cooper as Rocket, you just
Yeah,
wouldn't expect.
who would have thought that?
Yeah,
Who would have thought that about Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon, or even Dave Bautista
yeah,
as Drax?
yeah.
I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, of course, he went for the obvious choices here, but I mean, like we talked about, he needs to play it safe with this movie.
Yeah.
You know, I think back to to like Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I think back to that, how that movie. It's not the greatest thing either of us have ever seen,
No.
but it was good, and it was good because it was safe. I don't know if
And
you
I
would agree.
think, yeah, and Star, because I think people forget now because the prequels are kind of, people starting to love them. The prequels were
Yeah,
really hated, and I think that they kind of went back to basics.
yeah,
And you've almost got to do that sometimes to get, it's almost like resetting yourself, isn't it, for
yeah,
the next chapter or whatever. So,
pretty much. So yeah, I'm good with all that. I'm good with the casting. And I think James Gunn is I think this movie's in good hands with James Gunn. So moving on, let's talk about the rumors surrounding the Lex Luthor casting.
yeah.
Uh, right now, I mean, we've been hearing that Nicholas Hoult, who was in the running for Superman,
Mm,
you
yeah.
know, I know you didn't like the idea of him as Superman.
No, no.
I wasn't
And
crazy about it
yeah, that's
myself.
nothing against him as an actor because I think he's a really good actor. It's just
Oh
he
yeah,
just doesn't. He's not a Superman to me. That's all.
I have a hard time really seeing him as a superhero in general.
I agree with you. Yeah. It was good as
But
Beast.
oh,
To be
that's
fair.
right, he was
Yeah.
Beast. Okay, I take it back. I I
No,
take
but
it
like,
back.
I like. I think Matt Reeves was correct to go for Robert Pattinson. Even though I don't like that movie. I think he's really good in it. I don't think Nicholas Hoult would have. I don't think Nicholas Hoult would
I
be a
still
good
can't
Batman.
believe you don't like the Batman. That still drives me so freaking crazy, man.
Relax,
Like
relax.
I just want to roll my eyes in the back of my head. Like anytime you talk about the
Well, like the
Batman.
Undertaker and give you a choke slam. Sorry,
Yeah,
anyway, I
what
interrupted you about the castings.
that's cool. But but yeah, Nicholas Holt 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 Nicholas Holt.
Yeah, it's Holt in
Uh,
it. Yeah.
he he's also been linked to Lex Luthor, which I haven't really heard as much about him as Lex Luthor in recent days as I've heard about
Yeah.
Alexander and Bill Skarsgård, who I think that's kind of funny. You know, these two brothers that are vying for this role. I think I mean, that's got to be pretty competitive between them.
Well, remember the Hemsworths both went for Thor.
Wait a minute, Liam went for Thor.
Yeah, and Chris. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew Tom Hiddleston went for it, but
Yeah,
uh,
so did those two. So they were competing brothers as well. Which
and,
again, right decision to go for Chris.
yeah, Liam Hemsworth couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. I'm telling you. So, whatever. I can't wait to see how bad he shits the bed with The Witcher. Like
Oh,
it's gonna be terrible.
I won't be watching. I'm stopping after this season. So,
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch this season.
so I feel a bit like that to be honest as well. So
Do what?
I feel a bit like not watching it myself because I just think they've kind
Well,
of killed it for me.
I didn't like season two. I
No,
was
season two wasn't. Season one was good, and season two was.
yeah.
But why wasn't season two wasn't good because they basically pushed Geralt to the back. That's why I think it didn't work.
Yeah,
And he's the best thing about the show. But
exactly.
anyway,
He's the
back to
reason
Lex.
people. He's the reason people watch it. He's the
Yeah.
reason people watch the
Well,
show, not
they're gonna
the
find
other
out.
characters. Anyways,
They're gonna
we're
find
gonna
out.
go off on a tangent and start going. Anyway, I get passionate about Witcher season two, man. It pissed me off.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't good.
I love the first season, but
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
but but yeah, I mean, who would you rather have out of Alexander or out of Nicholas Holt, Alexander Skarsgård, or Bill Skarsgård? Who would you rather have? And
Well,
is there anybody else that you could see in the role?
that's a good question. See, I would be happy with any of them because they're all good actors, and I think I could see all of them as Lex. Really could. Different, maybe slightly different approaches to Lex, but they're all going to be that kind of business. I think we're going to get that Lex Luthor. Let's go what we got in Smallville towards the end. That
Yeah.
kind of, you know, the post-crisis Lex, the one that's like the business guy. I'd be happy with any. I would prefer Alex, to be honest, if I could choose. But
Yeah.
part of me does feel like feel a bit bad for Nicholas Hoult, and I know he'd kill it, so I'm kind of like, I'll just give it to him.
Keep your feelings out of it, Stephen. Keep your feelings out.
Do you know what
of
we'll
it.
add? You know, can I just say, you said that it's gone a bit quiet on Nicholas Hoult, but it went kind of quiet on Rachel Brosnahan, and you kept hearing loads about Emma Mackey, and then all of a sudden, and I've got a feeling these roles have been cast for a while, and I think he's probably already got his legs. To be quite honest.
Probably.
But I would go Alex if I was choosing, because I think I could just see him as like that. And you don't forget another thing about Lex is he you know, the one in the comics anyway, he'll keep himself in like the most physical, like peak condition because he wants to be the best man representation of man compared to this Superman. So, and I think Alex would like absolutely nail that. And plus, then I've seen the dude shirtless on True Blood, so I know he looks good about his top off. So for the ladies and some of the fellas who don't know what you're into.
I mean, the thing about Alex is that, like, he's taller than David Corenswet actually is, I think. So, I mean, he would be physically opposing. I mean, as physically opposing as you can be to Superman. So, I do like that. Yeah, I like that as well. Yeah. Nicholas Hoult. I can't say his name, man. It's Holt.
You said it right first time.
Holt. Is it
Holt? Yeah.
Okay.
Holt, yeah.
Nicholas Hoult. I mean,
He's tall as well.
That's right, he is. I could see him. I could see him as Lex Luthor. He's not my choice. He's not my choice, but I could see it. And if he got the role, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah. Out of the three choices that have been presented here, I'd have to go with Alexander. I would have to go with him. I don't know if he's a good enough actor. I really don't. I haven't seen enough. He is?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I mean, he's already got the look. So if you're telling me the man can play the role, then I'm going to agree with you.
What was that? Big Little Lies. In that, he would switch. So he'd be this really charming, and then he'd be a psycho, and I'm like, that's Lex. Because Lex, I remember Kevin Smith explained Lex like this. He said, Lex in the public is all like really nice and stuff, and then he goes, and then when the doors are closed, he's like, that effing Kryptonian, you know, like. And I thought, perfect description. I'm like, that's exactly what I think could see Alexander doing that. Whereas Bill looks a bit kind of off kilter as it is.
Yeah.
And even Nicholas Hoult to an extent, especially if you watch the menu, he's a bit
that's
not all
why
there
I
in
think,
that film. So
that's why I think Nicholas Hoult might be a little. He might be right for the role. He might be able to pull it off because. I mean, that's really the only movie I've seen him play an absolute douche nozzle in. So, I mean, maybe it could work. But, I mean, I've talked to you about this, but I'll bring it up on camera. I like the idea of Glenn Powell as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But Glenn Powell could play Barry Allen, could play Hal Jordan, could play Booster Gold. There's so many roles he'd be good for.
There's so many roles he could play, but I just love the idea of him playing a true bad guy, not just a dickhead like in Top Gun Maverick, but you know, a bad guy, like a villain, an actual villain.
Yeah,
I think he's so different. He is so different from David Corenswet. You can just tell. I get the vibes. Like, you know, David Corenswet is more of the, you know, down home, you know, good guy type, you know.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is the, you know, the asshole Chad type, you know. Yeah. I just think the two would have an interesting dynamic.
I'm just looking how tall he is. 6 foot is Glenn Powell. So that won't be a bad height either to go against 6'4" Superman.
He's only 6 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a little bit taller than that. Well, they can make him look taller.
I'm going to say, look at Tom Cruise.
They do it for Tom Cruise all the time. So whatever. They can do it for him too. But yeah, he would be the only other actor that I could think of for the role, besides the names I mentioned and the other.
Yeah, I don't really have anyone else, to be honest. So
I think the other name I mentioned was the actor that played the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Yeah,
2.
I'm not as keen on that idea, but
Yeah, I
I'm
know you're
okay
not.
with like a Black Lex Luthor. It's just him, and it was already on Peacemaker, which I know we don't know if Peacemaker, even though Gunn's saying he's doing Peacemaker season 2, we're a bit like, but I kind of feel like he's
Yeah.
already had a DC role. Do you?
Yeah, that's the only reason why it probably wouldn't happen.
I know you kind
But
of typecasting because you've just seen him play a villain in Guardians 3. You know what I mean as well.
yeah,
No, do you
yeah,
know
I'm,
what I mean?
I'm
I'm
typecast.
not saying it as a negative because sometimes typecasting's right, in it. You know, you think that guy plays that role really well. So
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Bradley Cooper too would be a good Lex Luthor.
yeah,
That
apparently he already turned it down though, didn't
yeah, he turned so
he? Yeah,
well publicly. He turned it down. I mean,
yeah,
who
yeah.
knows what's going on behind the scenes? But I mean, who knows? I just find it hard to believe that nobody from the Guardians movies is going to end up in the main cast of this movie.
There's going to be some in there. Well, we've already talked about, haven't we, some. So you're trying to move
Yeah,
on to the next bit.
yeah, which is going to be part of the next subject we talk about. Which I guess let's go ahead and jump into that.
Yeah. Oh, I was
Uh,
thinking segue, wasn't it? So
yeah, segue.
you
Uh,
meant to do
that was
it.
unintentional. All right. So, like, who should play Perry White and Jimmy Olsen? Uh, I'm gonna like
Well,
out of
we
the
already
gate.
talked about Perry off air, so you can say who we said.
Okay, I think. Well, you told me Bob Odenkirk, didn't you?
He's
Or
one of my. I've got 3 choices for Perry.
yeah, I'm actually like I actually got this one idea. I got this one idea from you, which is Michael Rooker for Perry
He'd
White.
be great. And I know he's already had a DC role, but it was so minor, and he had long hair and stuff.
That's true. So it probably won't be him because he
But
was in the Suicide Squad, and that
it was
seems.
so minor, though.
But that's the thing, even though James Gunn is keeping certain elements, which I know we
Which he
both
shouldn't be, in
disagree
my
with.
opinion. But yeah,
Yeah, we both agree
yeah,
that that's a terrible decision. But uh, I guess he could still work around that somehow and have Michael Rooker show up as a different character. I mean, I don't think most people would care,
just
and
dress
most
him differently, don't you?
yeah, and most people have forgotten probably that he was even in the
Yeah,
Suicide Squad.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was only in it for like 2 minutes, but anyways, the spoiler alert. But the movie's been out for like 2 years, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And as for Jimmy Olsen, I like Cameron Monaghan. You know who that is?
Yeah, the guy who played Joker on Gotham, basically, didn't he? And he did that Star
Yeah,
Wars.
and he's
Played
also been
Superboy in
in
the Death
the
of Superman as well. Yeah. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Return of Superman. Yeah.
and he's also
Voice.
played in he's that redheaded character in the new Star Wars games that I haven't played.
Yeah, yeah. He's a
So
brilliant actor. Him.
yeah,
I
he's
almost feel like
really
it'd be a bit of a waste of his talents, though, in some respects.
But here's the thing: the unfortunate thing for Cameron Monaghan, and look, I don't want to piss off any gingers, but it's hard for gingers to get roles in Hollywood. Unfortunately,
Well, they
I,
seem to get replaced, don't they? If,
yeah, like
yeah.
I hate the gingers just like y'all need to like make more noise or something, and like get more representation. I don't know
Yeah.
representation, but I think he would be great for Jimmy. I really do. He also has comedic timing as well. He does have comedic timing.
Do you know what? I actually have noticed. I've seen him on the advert for the Star Wars games with Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, and it's like a bit comedic and stuff.
Yeah.
He has definitely got, and I think you see, I thought he was fantastic on Gotham as the proto Jokers, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. He
He's
was
such a good actor. Yeah,
I pretty much checked out of Gotham at by that point, but I remember seeing
I stuck all the way through. I loved Gotham, so.
I didn't care much for it. But I saw the highlights and I was like, yeah, he's
Well,
pretty good.
yeah, it was one of them shows where you either had to embrace the madness or get off, and I embraced the madness and kind of went with it. So, just going back to Perry, I had an idea of Dylan McDermott, who you will know him if you see him. He was
Oh,
in, yeah, like Mrs. Doubtfire years ago, an American Horror Story and stuff, and he
yeah.
was on Hollywood. In fact, I didn't have this idea till I watched Hollywood. He played this kind of almost like a Perry type role. This guy who kind of
Yeah.
run this. It was like a gas station, but it was basically a brothel. And he was so good, and I was like, oh my god, that he would be so good as Perry White, and he had that attitude that you need for Perry.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
take your word for that.
I would recommend Hollywood, by the way. If you know, even taking a part, taking away the David Correns whatever all and stuff, he's a good show on its own, just in general. So
where's it at? Like, where can I watch
on
it?
Netflix, and it's an
Okay.
8-episode limited series as well. So, and as for Jimmy, I've heard I don't really have a Jimmy. I'm we talk about like gender swapping roles. I think Jimmy's one of those roles you can not gender swap, sorry, race swap. I think I don't agree with gender swapping Jimmy, but I think you could cast like a black actor, Latino actor, or a Asian actor or something in that role.
Yeah.
But justice for gingers. Let's get some ginger people in roles, like you say. But people said Jack Quaid, from The Boys.
I could see that.
And he's voicing Superman on My Adventures of Superman, ironically, but he's a little bit older than David, but not noticeably. So maybe you could get over it. But I always picture kind of Jimmy as like this, like almost like the Lois and Clark one, where it was like 20 in that or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's supposed to be low, isn't he? Quite a young
remember.
lad, isn't he? Maybe even like 18 or something. Yeah. But then I'm like thinking about, well, realistically, maybe he should be a guy like a similar age to Clark, and
or
he's not
Lois,
Robin, is he?
or Lois, because I mean, technically he's there before Clark gets there. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't have a problem with them going a little bit older for Jimmy, but definitely shouldn't be an old guy by any means, or middle aged.
But I'd be happy with Jack Quaid. I actually think the best Jimmy was Sam Huntington in Superman Returns. Probably the one part of that movie that I actually really loved.
I know you don't love it because we've already kind of like went back and forth on it, but if they did gender swap Jimmy for and bring in Sophia Lillis for the role, I could see it. Like, I'm not trying to be all woke and stuff.
No,
I mean, I could.
I could. Look at this. Look, I'll put it this way: if it happens, I'm not gonna lose my rag over it. I'll be like, fine. But personally, I don't want. I think you should always embrace female characters. So, like, if you want to bring Sophia Lillis in or something, cast her as bring her in as Chloe Sullivan. Something like that.
Who?
Actually, embrace Chloe from Smallville.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna do something like that, rather than give her the Jimmy role, because I kind of like what Zach did in Man of Steel, where he had like Jenny, which everyone thought she was called Jenny Olsen if you want, but she kind of fulfilled that Jimmy kind of role, didn't she? She was that character that kind of because Jimmy he almost kind of comes in as like this. He's like a side character that kind of sometimes gives you plot information that gets you from A to B. I think that's how he works best. Because you're not going to give him an arc of a story. Maybe he'll do something like, because the story's like Earth 1 where he actually saves Superman, which would be really cool to see, in that kind of role. But Jimmy technically is kind of almost like, oh, look at this on the news, to get you to the next part of the plot. So that's kind of how I see that role anyway. But I think the Jack Quaid idea, and I think who was your casting again for Jimmy?
Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, even I think he'd be really good as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
I really, if they go for someone that's supposed to look like Cameron Monaghan or like Jimmy Olsen, Cameron Monaghan looks just like him from the comics.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean,
are we having the bow tie?
And I have to think. I'm not spending much more time on this because I've been talking about it a little too long, I think. But I think with the way James Gunn has casted David Corenswet and Rachel Bosnahan in these damn names, dude. They're perfect for their roles of Superman and Lois. Yeah. I think he really is trying to play it safe with the casting, and he's going to get someone that reminds people of Jimmy from the comics.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't shock me at all.
It wouldn't. The next thing that I want to talk about. Did you have anything else to add?
No. I was done on that bit. So
okay. This is where I'm gonna just let you take the floor because I know absolutely nothing about this, but the villains for Superman Legacy is rumored to be the Authority, right?
Well, it's not really clear. They're going to be in it, but nobody knows how much or if they are going to be the villains, or because we know Lex probably isn't going to be the main villain. But if it is the
Yeah,
Authority, I could see them because the Authority are very similar to the Elite. You know,
yeah.
with I can't remember like Manchester Black,
Who's the
which
Elite?
again, have you ever seen Superman versus the Elite? Or where he basically joins up with his team and then they start killing people and he doesn't agree with it.
I've never
And
seen that.
dude, you need to watch it. Right, that's it. That's your homework. You can do that as a review later in the year.
All right.
Basically, the story is that Superman, he's kind of seen as old fashioned because he doesn't kill the villains and they kill the villains. And there's this whole I won't ruin it. The ending of that story is the best
Yeah.
ending to anything ever, in my opinion. It's such a good ending. You'd have to watch it obviously to see it. It was a comic, but they adapted it into an animated film. I would just watch the animated film, but
Okay.
so basically, if they're going to go down that route, then the Authority probably will be the villains. But you'll probably have some side villains, like in that story, you've got like the Atomic Skull, who was a Superman villain. So you might have some like little side villains like that. But or maybe you could even have like Parasite as like the main, as sort of a main villain. They kill him, and then that's when they take over the villain role in the film. They could do something like that. But there's also the Brainiac rumor out there, which James Gunn didn't deny.
Yeah.
This was when he was still denying stuff as well, because he's kind of backed off doing that now. And I thought, and I'd love to see Brainiac. It's like
Me too.
it's time in it, and
It's
you
like
can't
just jump
guarantee.
out of the gate with it. Just jump out of the gate. Give us
Yeah,
a
because you
big
can't
battle
guarantee
with
you're going to get
Brainiac.
that next one. You know, Green Lantern waited to do Sinestro tot sequel, and we didn't get a sequel. The Flash did it with Reverse Flash, and we're not getting a sequel.
Yeah.
It's like just go for it, you know. But I don't.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's so much secrecy about this film. We just don't know what he's going to do. So I would put. But James Gunn did say a while back he got asked to name his most underrated DC villains, and he said Parasite, and everyone's like, it might not mean
Yeah.
anything, but it could do.
I mean, if he goes Parasite, that's just going to make me think that he's molding this movie after that animated movie that came out, Man
Man
of
of Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
See,
Which
I think if he's doing Parasite, I think he'll do the Authority thing where the Authority end up killing him at the end, and then he has to stop them. I think they might do
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds cool from everything I've heard about and everything you just told me. Like
Yeah.
it sounds pretty cool. Him going up against this group of like super was it a group of anti-heroes? What they
Yeah,
are?
they'll probably be anti-heroes, probably a bit correct term. And they are getting their own
Yeah.
films, which I think maybe they won't do that because they'd end up in jail, surely, won't they, right?
Yeah.
Unless Waller gets them out and's like, you need to do this for me. Because she did with Suicide Squad, didn't she?
I don't know how they're gonna man, I don't know how they're gonna do all this with like Amanda Waller and Suicide Squad,
Well, he said
carrying
he said he's not doing a sequel to it, and he so
maybe he changed his mind. I hope to God he did, because it doesn't make any sense to carry over characters or versions of these characters from
yeah,
the
it just
DCU.
doesn't. My only thought process is he might do something at the end of Waller, and they end up in a new universe or something, which is the DCU.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I imagine it's going to all be explained somehow, some way. I'm just trying to put. I'm just
Yeah,
trying to put my faith in James Gunn, and not, you know, like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he has a good track record.
yeah.
So I don't know. One thing we didn't talk about though, as far as the casting goes, going back to that, uh, the Brendan Fraser rumors
Yes,
on him
yeah.
playing Pa Kent. I love
But
it.
he also got rumored to be playing Perry, so I was like, but I don't know if these are all rumors or just fan casts. It's a bit confusing.
Yeah, I don't know if they're fan cast or rumored, but I love him for whatever role they put him in. They put him
Yeah,
in
but
as
Pa
Pa.
Kent would be.
Well, it'd be perfect because he like who I don't know who it was. I can't remember, but he was supposed to play Superman, or he was in the running to play Superman
Yeah, he
anyway.
didn't actually get it. In fact,
Well,
I won't go
nobody
too far
did.
into it.
That was the
The Brett.
JJ.
Yeah, that was no, it was the Brett. Yeah, JJ Abrams script. Brett Ratner was going to do
Yeah,
it, and he wanted Matt Bomer. The studio wanted Brendan Fraser, and there was a bit of a, and that's why
yeah,
one of the reasons that film didn't go in front of camera.
yeah. It's such a shame. I think Brendan Fraser would have been a great Superman. I really do.
I maybe in
Actually, you
like
know what?
1998 or something.
If I, you know what? Now that I think about it,
I think
I
he's a bit too
honestly,
goofy.
yeah, I can't see him as Superman.
No, I
I
can see him as Superman's dad.
I can definitely see him as Jonathan Kent. I
And
can
get
definitely
Rachel Weisz back from the Mummy. Get them as the Kents.
Man, that would be
That'd
hilarious.
I'd
That
love
would be that would be hilarious.
that.
That would be absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I love that casting. If they cast him as Perry White, I wouldn't hate it. But
No, he'd be good in that as well. He's just a brilliant actor. I'm really glad he's come back as well because I think we realised how much we all missed him, didn't we, when he came back? It was like, where's that dude been? Yeah,
who was it?
Brendan Fraser.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying, yeah, we all missed him, didn't we? Because he was
We
I think the
really
first two
did,
Mummy
man.
films are great. They're great, absolute great movies. Them so.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything we want to talk about. You have anything else you want to talk about?
Just before we go, so I don't want to keep too much longer. I just wanted to bring up the thing we talked about the suit because
Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
James Gunn, I think it was on Mastodon, posted that picture of Superman. It was I don't think it's quite the original version, but it's close to the original version with the triangle S with the black and the red.
Yeah.
Which is very Fleischer type, but obviously the Fleischer one changed the shape a bit.
Yeah.
And some are speculating, is that going to be the costume for the new one? Are they going to go a bit Fleischer style? So
I just don't love it. I don't love the idea
I
of
love it.
doing
I
that.
do. I actually loved it when they did it on Superman and Lois when because I really want them to have Mark Kent made the suit again. And I think if he starts off with that, even if by the end of the film he changes or the sequel or something, you know,
Yeah.
if we get a sequel,
Like maybe the first movie ends with him ripping the shirt and it being like the more traditional S.
yeah, like at the end of the film, yeah, maybe his suit
Yeah.
gets damaged during the main fight or whatever, and
Yeah.
that would
I
be
mean,
cool, wouldn't it?
I could see that. That'd be pretty cool. For the
Yeah.
first movie, I could see it. It would be cool. It'd be a hard sell though for I think more casual fans of superhero movies.
The thing
They
is,
probably
you could almost make it classic design, but just with those colors, and it would. I think people would get. They know the S on the chest is Superman, don't they? Do you know?
yeah.
I get
I
what you're
get
saying though, because the original, not the original, but the classic design we all know and love, is
yeah.
people see that and they just know it's Superman, don't they? It's like
I get what you're saying.
so. But
It
anyway,
makes sense.
that was
Makes
my
sense.
thoughts on that. So
I mean, I'll go along with it if that's the route he wants to go. I'll go along with it. Well, do you have anything else you want to add? I'm
no,
done.
nothing
I
from
don't.
me. Nothing from me. Yeah, all done.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's been the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, where we have these discussions pretty much daily, you could follow me at Blake HGGNS on Twitter, and you can tell them where to follow you.
Yeah, I'm at SteveBob1984. But obviously at the minute there's been some issues on Twitter, so I might not be able to reply to you.
Yeah, I don't know what Elon's up to, man. He needs to get off his
And he's sending
shit.
to Phantom Zone.
Send him to the Phantom Zone. You know, I was all on board, man. I was on board with Elon at first, but then like he's starting to do stupid shit like this, and I'm like, dude, come on. Like, who are you to tell people what to do with their time? Anyways, fuck that guy. So, but anyways, guys, that's all we got. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below, be a part of the discussion, and also keep an eye out for more videos like this where Steven and I are going to get together on more of a regular basis, you know, probably like every couple weeks, once a month, uh, whenever like big news drops. We're in different time zones, so it's hard for us to get together and make these videos. But but yeah, we definitely plan to make more. So keep an eye out for them. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'm Blake. This is Steven. Y'all have a good one.